So my name's Angela Potts-Mang'andah. I've been in the Power of Love ministry. This is my 11th year as a student of Jennifer's, and I've been working now for 9 years for her on staff in different capacities. I'm one of the certified spiritual counselors, and just very blessed to be growing and learning and living in this community. I feel very, very blessed. And Justine and I got to visit Jennifer in April. We hung out with her dog and cat. Justine was keeping them very busy. As a very detailed insider tip is Jennifer allowed Justine to give unlimited treats to the dog. And I was like, wow, that's just so, she was so generous and cool. I was like, oh, we might have to put a limit, but she was like, no. So she had a great time. We had a great time there. And it's nice in the summer that Jennifer can have a couple weeks off in the summer, do other things at the Peace Village and so forth. So I'm very grateful to be the host today. I will be praying us in, and then we've got some of Jennifer's best buddies here today. So very grateful for what's unfolding for us. So we will begin with a prayer. Justine's got her trumpet in case you need backup or ensemble. So I'm going to place my hand on my heart and just taking a moment to be as fully present as possible to the blessing that is this gathering. Grateful for our desire to be here when there's so much we could be doing. There's so many things we could choose, and we are choosing to come together and remember the truth of who we are, to remember the light that we are. And we're grateful for Spirit leading this meeting. We're grateful for Karen stepping forward and sharing our inspirational message. And we're grateful that Faith will carry us through this. Okay. I'm also okay, no problem. The pilot. And just grateful for all of you who are listening, that will share in the breakout, for all that we're able to bring forward, for the vibrational lift that we are able to experience here. And we are so willing to commit to bringing that high vibration out in the world with us. And so we let this unfold with gratitude. And so it is. Amen. Okay. And so now I will introduce Faith. I love this because I get to read Faith's bio, and
Yeah.
done it many times. So Faith, no, I need it to be quiet. Faith Rumer started playing guitar when she was 10 years old. So Justine's got a few years, and knew from then on that she wanted to have a career as a musician. She was really scared to sing, but her guitar teacher insisted she sing along to the song she was playing. She probably ended up playing and singing every Beatles song ever written. Faith studied music at DePaul University and then started her long career as a professional musician. She's been the music director for Agape International's Sunday evening service for 15 years. And she also served as the choir director for Reverend Jesse Brune's Inspire Spiritual Community Choir, Inspired Voices. As a member of the Agape International Choir, she shared the stage with legends and greats, including Earth, Wind, and Fire, David Foster, and Carl Anderson. And she's had the pleasure to perform for and share the stage with speaking icons Marianne Williamson, Deepak Chopra, and Michael Beckwith. Faith loves singing so much that she began to help others learn to sing, forming her own coaching studio in LA, the Artist First Voice Studio. She's presently on staff at the AMDA Conservatory in LA. She calls her music artistry, and she hopes that it inspires and uplifts you. So, Faith, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you. Got a little frog in my throat here. So I'm going to start tonight. It's afternoon in the East Coast, and afternoon, just starting afternoon here on the West Coast. So I'm going to begin with a song called "Someone Needs a Prayer." Now I know that Reverend Karen Russo knows that song because it's an agape song. And I've been called to sing it more and more lately because it seems like we are in this place in the world where prayer is so needed. We just need to keep praying. And I've changed the words slightly. I put the chorus in our meeting chat. So you can sing along with me when we get to the chorus. Our prayer of love lifts them high. It heals them, sustains them. And here's where I changed the lyric. So instead of going, and it sets them free, I says, and it sets us free. Because here's what I know as a practitioner, that whenever I pray for someone else or for some condition in the world, that I am changed. And it's that changing of my inner light, my inner being, my knowingness, that changes everything around me. So please sing along if you know this, and if you're just getting introduced to it. Go ahead and sing along. Someone's in need of a prayer today. Have you done your part? Someone's in despair this day. Have you prayed from your heart? So many are trying to find their way, and they need the light, you know, and our prayer of love, it lifts them high. It heals us, sustains them, and it sets them free. Our prayer of love, it lifts them high. It heals them, sustains them, and it sets us free. Have you spoken the word today? Did you give your all in prayer? The world's in need of what you say. Did you answer the call and pray? So many are seeking the way to go. They need the light, you know, for our prayer of love. Oh, it lifts them high. It heals them, sustains them, and sets us free. Our prayer of love. Oh, it lifts them high. It heals them, sustains them, and it sets us free. And you are the place you need to start. So throw open your mind and use your heart. Don't waste the time and don't delay. So many are in need of a prayer today. Somebody's in need of a prayer today. Have you done your part? Somebody's in despair this day. Did you pray with all of your heart? Well, listen to the Spirit is telling you to heed the holy call for our prayer of love. Oh, it lifts them high. and lifts them high. It heals them, sustains them, and it sets us free. It sets us free. A prayer of love. It sets us free.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you, thank you. I love that
Oh,
song.
and I kept getting caught up in it and I wasn't singing along. I was like, wait a minute. Thank you, Faith. Beautiful. And Justine was rocking out with you.
Thank you.
So I do realize that I forgot to invite everyone to let us know where you're joining from and what your intention is. And if you feel anything like me, I feel like the music, maybe the prayer has brought you into your heart a bit. And if you'd like to take a moment before we introduce Karen to let us know in the chat where you're joining from and what your intention is. And it might just up-level what you receive since you've put your intention around it. So if you'd like to take a moment and place that in the chat. Thank you, Karen. Beautiful. And then I will go ahead and introduce our speaker, Karen. And so Reverend Karen Russo is an MBA is the award. Okay, Masters of, wait. You have an MBA. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Which is a Master's in Business Administration?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the award-winning author of The Money Keys and an ordained minister. Karen and Reverend Jennifer have been BFFs and prayer partners for decades. And Karen is teaching the upcoming Create and Lead Workshops That Make a Difference course with Jennifer. Jennifer's making some guest appearances and is thrilled to be sharing about the transformative power of teaching. So grateful to have you, Karen. And let's see, take it away.
Take it away. Well, thank you so much, Angela. Everybody just give so much love to Angela and Justine for piloting and co-piloting us. I will tell you that when you're doing you all know this, when you're doing the zooming and the loving, it's a lot to do. And thank you so much, Faith, for that beautiful, beautiful heart and soulful song. What a sentiment. The prayer of love, it lifts them high, heals them, sustains them, sets us free. So that basically is the essence of my message about the power of spiritual teaching, which is what we're talking about today. So my dear ones, I'm so glad to be with you all. And we're going to have a bit of a conversation about spiritual teaching and learning. And for this, I pulled some inspiration directly from A Course in Miracles manual for teachers. So some of you all are going to be like, oh my gosh, that's my favorite thing. Others of you that might be new to, but I pulled quotes and inspiration there. And then I'm going to combine that with my background, which is science of mind. So I'm an ordained Centers for Spiritual Living or Church of Religious Science minister. And in fact, Jennifer and I met at the Agape Center in Los Angeles. That's where I did my early science of mind training and began my ministerial training there. So you're going to hear principles of the science of mind. And for those of you that might be new to it, the science of mind is a 100-plus-year-old teaching that combines a philosophical approach, best of all religions and metaphysical laws. And it was founded by Dr. Ernest Holmes. So that's what you'll be hearing some from as well. And I'm just going to glance at your intentions. Service, Judy celebrating God's love, Olga, intention God's presence, wonderful Mary, God's name in my own, we are one. And then Kathleen having faith in God. Wonderful. And then Carolyn's here to hear what from me. Wonderful. It's great. So just know that by placing your intention either on your mind or heart, or if you are, and hi Cindy, open and present. I'm so glad you're here. If you've got an intention, whether it's super active and detailed, or whether it's something that's just soft in your heart, your intention is manifest by the power of who you are. So I'm glad for that. All right, so let's look at the nature of teaching and learning for the purpose of you being even more clear when the situation calls for you to be clear, that you're even more confident when nature wants more confidence from you, and you're even more inspiring when the moment calls for inspiration, so that you can be more masterful in sharing your gifts with the world. And you might be formally teaching. So Faith may be teaching people how to access their inner artist. Others of you may be teaching in a more informal way. You may be a leader in your family and you're looking to teach your spouse and children and parents about the power of inclusivity. Or maybe you're someone who's an activist and you're looking to create more commitment to environmental practices. Or maybe you're doing some work or practice where you're not in presentation mode, but you are modeling the skills you want others to adopt. So just know when I say teaching, I mean revealing the truth of who you are in a way that makes a difference. And we're all up to that. So when we say spiritual, I think it's nice to define that word a little bit, because I think sometimes when we hear spiritual, some might think it means emotional and vegetarian or something like that. But when I say spiritual, I mean the nature of the divine. So spiritual is having to do with and attending to the realities of transcendent, greater living and life. And the primary principle of spirituality for this conversation is the principle of oneness. Oneness is the truth that you can test for yourself, the truth that all of life is an interconnected whole. So Science of Mind would say oneness is the unity. The circle represents the unending nature of the divine, no beginning, no end. Some will say it's the principle of love, that all of the world's religions will come to some place where they say God is love, that transcendent reality is loving, and that we are a part of it. So that's the other aspect of unity, is that we are all connected in that oneness. So if you're a spiritual teacher, it may mean that you're teaching project management, or you may be doing something that is a practical trade. And if you know that you're being connected to at all times with an infinite loving presence, you can be a spiritual teacher in a practical topic. So for everyone, I'm going to ask you, what is the topic or issue or subject that you are teaching about? And if you would, put it in the chat. This is getting a little practice for when you're invited to optionally join a breakout later and you're having a discussion about your topic or your work. So who's ever brave will get that started, but put your topic in the chat. All right. Wonderful. We've got great careers, vocations. Cindy says, wonderful. So who's a teacher? So this is from the Course in Miracles Teacher's Manual. God's teacher speaks to any two who join together for learning purposes. In the teaching-learning situation, each one learns that giving and receiving are the same. The demarcations they have drawn between their roles, their minds, their bodies, their needs, their interests, and all the differences they thought separated them one from another fade and grow dim and disappear. So the teacher is one who joins with another for the purpose of learning and discovers that the giving and the receiving, the teaching and learning, they're one in the same. So for me, what that connects to is this paradoxical idea that we are already whole, perfect, and complete. And yet, because we are in the nature of the divine, we're forever evolving, expanding, moving forward. So that is also another spiritual principle. And a principle is a truth that can be tested. It's usually a spiritual quality might be, grace could be a quality, but if you put it into a sentence, the presence of God's grace is in every moment, that becomes a principle. So we are whole, perfect, and complete, meaning all that we are is of the divine. We're made in the image and likeness of the fullness of God. So that's all we are. All that we are is of God. And yet, because the divine is infinite, there's always more to be revealed. And what that means is we evolve, we expand. So even the most learned is always learning. Even the one who has become a master of her craft is always open to expansion. And that's because nature moves us forward. Okay, and so this is great. People are in the chat. Wonderful. Kathleen is clear, not teaching anything but teaching the presence of God and just in who you're being. Wonderful. And then Mary says, I'm a spirit using the body as a communication device, extending truth. Thank you. So for some of you, it doesn't resonate to say, I teach project management. It's going to be more like, I am living as a teaching. Just wonderful. So another quote that I found, and also in the manual for teachers, there's a piece that says, what are the characteristics of God's teachers? And then this came out. The extent of the teacher of God's faithfulness is the measure of his advancement in the curriculum. Does he still select some aspects of his life to bring to his learning while keeping others apart? If so, his advancement is limited and his trust not yet fully established. Faithfulness is the teacher of God's trust in the word of God to set all things right, not some, but all. So this idea that the question that we're being asked is, if we think about the teaching of our lives, the giving of ourselves to our craft, our topic, our living, our loving, if there's any part of ourselves that we are holding back from that, that will limit us, not because the divine is withholding, but because if we've withheld something, we're not fully there. And so this is the encouragement for all of us to, as Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world, or you don't want to just talk about it, but be it, show it, do it. And I'm part of my spiritual path has been 12-step recovery. And there's a tradition, it's the 12 steps and the 12 traditions. There's a tradition in those programs that says our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. Attraction rather than promotion. And the concept there is that it is much more attractive to another who longs for healing for you to be an example of that healing rather than for you go tell someone how they should be healed. So has that been true? It's been true in our lives, right? So we want to demonstrate to the world the efficacy, the power, the majesty, the attractiveness of our teaching. So this is my another encouragement here. Find the holistic nature of what you are teaching. So Angela said at the beginning, you have an MBA, a Master's of Business. I do. So one of the themes of my life is integration. So I came up with, in my teaching, I got an MBA and I started to work at a bank. And at the same time, I also was always, especially because of the challenges I had with my own alcoholism and then recovery, I always had a practical life and a spiritual life. And what I have been working on for 30 years is how to bring the two together. And along in my corporate world, I moved from working for that bank to working for various corporate training and development type firms. So for 30 years, including last week, I go into big and small companies. Last week, I was at a organization that rhymes with Shamazon, and was teaching a communications class. And here's what I have discovered is no longer do I think something like, boy, that corporate world, we should really bring spiritual principles in there so that we can, help them to realize spiritual principles. That's a statement of separation. I'm being a little dramatic with it, but that's separation. I fully go into any place I go in, and I am looking for the presence of the divine in the eyes and the faces of the people that are there, and recognizing that if we're training them to be even more inspiring in their 3-minute shift startup meetings where they have 50 people who are about to start working really hard, and believe me, all the messages are like hydrate, take care of yourself, all of that. So just, I'm kind of like giving you all a little, like, in that world, self-care and human care is, I found it high. I believe their spirit is already there. So it's, and I use the regular language of that workplace, of the material I've been given to train. So I don't need to put my languaging on top of it. I'll say, how can you be more engaging? And what's the benefit? If you're more engaging in those 3 minutes, how does it benefit your associates? So I've found a way to really believe and then model that the principles are alive everywhere. So holistic. So how can you be more holistic in your life and in your teaching? Okay. The highest and best for all concerned. So the teacher's manual says this: remember how many times you thought you knew all the facts you needed for judgment and how wrong you were. And it goes on to say, wisdom is not judgment, it is the relinquishment of judgment. There is someone with whose judgment is perfect. He, that someone, does know all the facts, past, present, and to come. He does know all the effects of his judgment on everyone and everything involved in any way. And he is wholly fair to everyone, for there is no distortion in his perception. So I definitely have been in the situation where I thought I knew all the facts and discovered I was wrong. If you have ever experienced that, please raise at least 1 or 2 of your hands or give a little reaction. Okay, yeah, so it's not just me. Thank you. So we've all had that experience of having a high state of opinion, response, ideas, especially good ones, about a situation, and then discovering another perspective, relinquishing our own judgment. Something in there that is a beautiful thing to pray for and a beautiful thing to hold as you are in your conscious or informal teaching is this idea of the highest and best for all involved. So I remember in spiritual counseling training, like the training that Reverend Jennifer does with you all, that it was a little bit confusing sometimes. I had a prayer partner who said, please pray for me to get pregnant. I want to get pregnant. And so I was a little bit in this moment like, is this a test? Like, I want to pray for her happiness and her fertility and her health and wholeness and the right actions for her family and her desire to be a mom. And I had this little thought, like, praying for the how it's going to happen is, should I, like, it really was a little bit of a question in my mind. And here's what I'll tell you. To this day, I'm not sure I have one right answer for you. So this is like, take this into your own mind and think about it. Sometimes you pray, for I'm a big sports fan. If I'm praying for my Phoenix Suns to win, am I praying for the Denver Nuggets? Sorry if there's any Nuggets fans to lose. Like, can I pray for my team to do its best and for them to have a good defense and a consistent approach? I can pray for right. One of my passions and the place that I am working spiritual principles that is causing a challenge in growth for me is I'm also very politically active. Politically active. What a great opportunity for that teacher of God to release her judgment. So that means if I am advocating for a particular point of view or for a particular candidate, can I be also praying for the love and the highest and best and outcome, the highest and best expression for all the people involved? And then can I, and down to the smallest thing, this won't shock anybody, but sometimes when people are politically active, especially in the off years, when you're getting to know people who, we're all politically active and we're earnest and it's hot here and we're still out knocking on doors, talking to voters, there's a bonding that happens. And sometimes that bonding happens like middle school kids, where you're like, can you believe this candidate said this thing? Oh my goodness. And the eyes just roll around. And it's a way to bond. I've got to watch that. Like if I am going to live the teaching of, I'm not going to say anything personally negative about anybody, I'm going to have to give up that little shot of endorphin of bonding about that in that environment. I don't need to be a prude or unfriendly, but I can feel it. I can feel it when I'm just about to pick up a little gossip because it feels good. Can't do it. If I'm going to holistically be the change of love and justice and inclusion that I desire, I've got to do it even in the background. The teacher's manual says, therefore, lay judgment down, not with regret, but with a sigh of gratitude. Now you are free of a burden so great that you could merely stagger and fall down behind it. And it was all illusion. All right. So release your judgments if you are a teacher. All right. And my final bit of inspiration before we go into a little bit of a reflection here is peace is impossible to those who look on war. Peace is inevitable to those who offer peace. Therefore, it is no longer the question, can peace be possible in the world? But instead, listen to this one, is it not impossible that peace be absent here? So the question becomes, is it not impossible that peace be absent here? That's the science of mind principle of omnipresence, that the presence of the divine is in the midst of the most horrific conditions or circumstances. And Dr. Holmes in the Science of Mind would say, we look a discordant fact in the face and see through to the spiritual truth. So even if someone comes to you with a problem of war, you see it's impossible for peace to be absent. The peace is there. Someone comes with a diagnosis of cancer, wholeness is right where they are. There can be a healing, a revelation of the wholeness or the peace or the love or the justice, and the cure or the circumstance changing may not be exactly what we outlined or desired, but the healing is certain because the presence of the divine is certain. Okay. How many teachers of God are needed to save the world? I am thinking Kathleen knows the answer to this, and she knows one of those teachers very well. So the answer is one. Uno. The answer to this question is one holy, perfect teacher whose learning is complete suffices. So what this means is because we are all connected, when one in the prayer finds the revelation of healing or peace or justice or love, because Jennifer would say all minds are joined, the Course would say all minds are joined, the shift occurs for all. So what a truth known anywhere is known, available, and realized everywhere. So for you, you beautiful teachers, this is your charge, to be convicted in your spiritual knowing, to be holistic, live it, be an example of it, to release judgment, and to know that when you have a healing and a revelation, it is powerful. All right, so peace and blessings for the message. Yay. All right. And Miss Angela, I believe we now do a guided meditation, about 10 minutes or so. Is that?
Sure. And I was like, oh, wait, yeah, I do that. But if you would like to,
Oh,
you can.
are you, if you're prepared for it, please.
I'm prepared in the way of channeling it, but if you would like to, I'm open to that too.
I thought of some things, so I'll do some reflection, and then you'll put the people into breakouts and kind of
Okay.
suggest that this will be the, okay, wonderful.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So everyone, what you're seeing is a live conversation about having a wonderful Sunday of Spirit. All right. So if the Power of Love ministry team wants to put a little background music and still have my voice, that would be fine. However you normally do it for the meditation is great. But I won't play anything through my computer. Okay. So shake a little bit if you've been sitting, and maybe put hands up, breathe in, release, breathe in, and release. Okay. And soften the eye and open the heart. So begin by let's just take a moment. We'll take about a full minute of just being still to see from what's been shared already in the song and the message, the conversation, the chat. Give yourself a minute of just sweet integration. Let you appreciate what's come so far. And now we'll consciously let the physical body, just become completely relaxed and receptive, and open our inner awareness. And we're going to do a bit of a visualization of the learners, students, those you are to teach, serve, share with, the challenges they face, the message, spiritual teaching quality that is yours to share, the feeling of healing and wholeness that comes with that, and then the transformation within and without that is possible. So for this journey, it requires us to allow ourselves to begin with the fact, not the great reality, but the fact, the experience of human suffering. Let yourself behold the area of human existence where there is suffering, where you feel you can bring healing. It could be a group of people, a demographic, a community. It could be people who have had a particular spiritual journey, people affected by trauma. It could be people in your own geographic area, but feel your people. All people are your people, and there's likely a group that you are feeling called to serve and to care for. And allow yourself, from a place of great love, allow yourself to behold with great compassion the problems, challenges, and ways that they may be suffering. No spiritual bypass, no judgment, just a full seeing. Let yourself behold the challenges. Take a deep breath in, release it, and know that that suffering can be witnessed without being agreed with. And ask your inner knowing, what is the spiritual balm for these wounds? What is the healing? What is the message? What is the truth? Is it the quality of love as the great healing reality? Is it grace is present in every situation? Is it that the peace of the divine allows for dynamic harmony? What is the healing message and the feeling, emotion, relief, and care that it brings? Let that arise in your mind, but then flood yourself with the vibration and energy of the healing you are to bring. And finally, feel that the healing of spiritual truth reveals itself as a transformation of circumstances. So in your mind's eye, picture the images of people laying down that burden of judgment and walking free and loved and clear and whole. See if it is people caring for their earthly environment with love and consideration and discernment, and there being a healing. See family relationships mended and respectful and caring. For me, it would be seeing governmental leaders working together for the highest and best, and people feeling free and cared for, and everyone included, and policies that make a difference and bring us together in a wonderful way. Take a full minute to see the benefits of the healing. We're grateful for what's been revealed. Beholding the challenges with compassion, flooding ourselves with the feeling of healing and release from spiritual principle, and witnessing the transformation that is possible. And we'll take these reflections with us into our continued conversation and communion here in Sundays with Spirit and beyond. We give thanks for what is revealed. We know that God is good, all is well, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Karen. You gave us so much there. Thank you.
Yes.
And this is Faith's opportunity to share a song and bring us toward the breakout. Thank you. Thank you so much, Karen. You having a hard time, Faith? You got it? Okay.
Yes, thank you. Wow, Karen, thank you so much. So beautiful. And this song I'm going to sing is a song, it's actually a Cure song. Adele sang it as well. And it's called Love Song. And it is, for me, a love song to spirit. Because no matter where I go, how far I travel, like in judgment or whatever it is that day, I always come back that I will always love. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am home again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am whole again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am young again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am fun again. However far away, I will always love you. However long I stay, I will always love you. Whatever words I say, I will always love you. I will always love you. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am free again. Whenever I am alone with you, you make me feel like I am clean again. However however far away, I will always love you. However long I stay, yes, I will always love you. Whatever words I say, oh, I will always love you. I will always love you. You always love me, and I always love you.
Thank you so much. I feel like bathed in love right now. Thank you. And it's always tricky when you're hosting not to just let yourself get carried away. Thank you, Faith. So we are now bathed in love and inspiration, and it's time to head into the breakout if you so choose. We go in for 15 minutes, and we ask that you listen with an open heart and an open mind, and we refrain from advice giving, but sharing inspiration, sharing what you're taking away from today's service so far. So anything that hit you that you'd like to share, especially around what Karen was leading us to in that meditation, what came up. But if something else also was striking, share that. So try to share the time equally if you can, best you can. And here we go. Frank's going to send us into the breakout. Okay. Awesome. So we'll give a moment for that, for the transition. This. Okay. All right. All right, Mary, are you hanging out with us? You are completely welcome. Oh, she's disappearing. Okay. All right, well, thank you. Here we are. I don't know if Frank's going to join us here, but Frank, if you have a moment, if you feel you'd like to, okay. And okay. Okay. All right, so here we have our Facebook Live conversation, and I want to start by just saying how grateful I am that I'm here, because every time, really, it's such a shift vibrationally. So thank you, Karen. Thank you, Faith, for sharing your gifts. I can testify that they are working. They are powerful. And it's okay. I'm going to start with my own reflection, if I may, and then pass it along. I'm very thankful for this topic, Karen. I haven't had the pleasure of taking your workshop yet. As you see, I have a cute little toddler that she's kind of the main show right now. And there'll be another time where I do more personal things. She, you know, what was coming through for me with the meditation is, you know, the mom thing is right here and very much right. And so it's like, yeah, the efficacy of my every move is like on stage. And yet, you know, I've released myself from needing to be the perfect mom at all, because what I recognized one time with my own mother was, wow, what you do that aligns with spirit and my higher self, I'm learning from that. What you fail to do, I'm learning from that, and I will learn the contrast and I will sort it out, and I will be on my way. And yet what came through is what I'm most interested in teaching, like the spiritual quality. I don't know that acceptance is a spiritual quality, like technically. And then that was sort of like right on the same line as unconditional love, like that I would love her no matter what's showing up, and to teach her to accept how she feels and how others feel and what's going on. And I find myself in this interesting moment about because I've thought that, and then I thought, oh yeah, but you keep teaching her also, you keep saying, let's find a solution, like after we allow ourselves, like, but there's no technical amount of time to allow feelings. It could be infinitely allowing. But so I'm just noticing that's what came through with the meditation, is that I'm interested in teaching myself unconditional love for myself, and how that can be applied to all. And that just seems to be what I'm up to right now as teacher of God. And yet there's so much more, but that kind of came through. But grateful to have you lead me through the questions you asked. And just really grateful for the reflective time. I don't think I'm having enough of that in my life right now, because even the quiet time, all that felt so nourishing. And then the music just seemed to just be so healing for me. So thank you both. That's what I'll kick us off with. And whoever else would like to comment and share it, jump right in.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela.
Yeah. So Angela, thank you. And also Karen, what a wonderful talk. I actually am in your workshop. I'm excited about it.
I
I've
know.
had several things in working out, and I'm just getting more clarity and really getting into that space of honoring everything that is coming through me. And I think that's a big part of what we all are doing. Is sometimes we don't honor it fully. You know what, we get this spark of something. Like, this is what I am feeling. This is what I want to teach, and yet we can, I know I can, um, dampen that sometimes. And the course that I'm starting again here in next week, this coming, actually it'll be this week, starts on Thursday, the same day as your course. I'm starting a course, and it's on emotional freedom,
Mm,
um, and emotional freedom, and what I've been coming through, and I've been teaching this, and it's been, I thought it was geared towards, creative professionals, creative people, and it is total. I mean, we use some things to work through, use that our emotions and our work and free them up so that they're available to us. But what's happening is, because it's all spiritually based, that people's lives are changing, and
yeah.
that's what we're talking about. And the idea that I was thinking, Angela, that we are taught so young to mute our feelings or to dampen them, because it's uncomfortable sometimes when we're around other people. When we're little kids, as a child, we have this feeling of being, I'm just really upset. We're like, no, 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 settle down, settle down, settle down, because it helps us to work together and in a family unit and society. But it's also the danger of us being not being desensitized to what really is going on inside of us. And then when we honor that, we have an opportunity to transmute it, to transform it. This morning, I had a client text me really early in the morning, and she ends up texting me at all kinds of crazy times sometimes, with really really long texts, and I felt myself getting annoyed, irritated, right? Irritated. And what I've been teaching and what I know is that within our lowest chakra is that power and safety chakra. And when something happens where we don't feel powerful or safety, that ignites what actually contracts the energy, and we feel it as anger,
Mm,
irritation, even rage. And if we don't allow ourselves to acknowledge it and release that energy like little kids do, a little kid gets angry and they just get angry and it's done. Like, it's crazy. Toddlers, a few, joy, anger, sadness, they go through all of them, don't they? But if we don't do that, what I found is that, um, I'm going to continue to get irritated at her. And then one day it's going to come out in a way I don't want it to come out. So now I realize, oh, this is a power issue. I have not set very clear boundaries. So I feel like she's taking my power away, but she's not. I gave it away. So that is an opportunity when I acknowledge the irritation, because that is like I said, an opportunity for me to dig a little deeper and go, what's really under this?
Yeah.
Because it's just an emotion. It's just a feeling. It's energy which will move and change. So that's what's going on with me right now.
Thank you.
Karen, would you like to comment?
Yes, thank you. I'm really struck by, from everything that you all have shared, this the power of authenticity, of like, this is my experience, and then the choice going forward. Let's find a solution. That is the human condition, is we forget, we remember, we fall asleep, we awake, and then we awaken and we live, or we learn it and then we do it. And evolution is a forward moving thing. So I'm fine with let's find a solution. Maybe it's like, what's our next choice? Because that is how it is. It's like, oh, I need to set a boundary. Like, oh, yeah. So I'm loving this. And I'm also I'm touched by, like, Faith, I'm thrilled you're going to be in this intensive. I think it's going to be an opportunity for just, like, we'll take whatever you're currently working with, and we'll focus on whatever piece you want to just take to the next level, in terms of your work. So I'm excited. Like, the energy in the Power of Love ministry to me feels like the of love and the we've got something to do. Like, both things can be true. Frank
Yeah,
is nodding.
yeah,
Frank?
it is we live in a masculine feminine energy. It's really that the feminine is the receiving that, and then we have this masculine getting into the world and doing bringing these gifts into the world that we have to offer, the teachings. Because if we sit, it's like that, the prayer, I could sit and pray for myself and it's good. There's nothing wrong with praying for myself. But to pray, to really extend that prayer out, as part of the gift.
Yes. Would you like to share, Frank?
Well, I can only share that this teacher issue really is a very interesting issue, and I must be the one of the most terrible teachers in any level, as I usually have things like very well planned through, like exactly what comes first, what needs to come first, and when and how the next step is to be taken. And I usually pass this information on, like in work environment, I'm talking, no, even in private environment. I pass it on like in a recipe book, where in one sentence you have like 100 informations already completely perfect. And then surprise, surprise, not all of that comes through in all that details. So other people have some, gross understanding of what I might be talking about, then they make up their own minds and they do something which has nothing to do a lot. And then we do it 2 times or 3 times. And at the same time, I try to impose this thing of feedback, like we do on the bridge in the ship. Somebody says something, everybody repeats it, so everybody knows it's been, and when it has actually been carried out, it's fed back again. And at the same time, this is like being obviously not a good teacher in the world of form, but at the same time, what I then do is I'm being a very not so enlightened teacher in the spirit, because I then go to blame and shame if it has not been done the way that it would have been like the perfect way, having been set out already. And there's a few people like my son where it all goes smoothly. It just works out. We're, the same mindset, and I realized that with this kind of, when things work out, when this kind of connection does happen, when the beauty of the artwork that I have imagined is actually manifesting through a communication process that is working, then this is probably one of the moments or opportunities where my heart actually opens the most, where my connection with the people, with spirit, with the artwork that is created is actually, like a hurricane spiraling me up and soaking me up and pushing me right into the center of the universe. But that's not the standard. So I'd love to work. My two toddlers are a little older than Angelo's. One is 9-year-old and one is inside me. And this toddler is just playing a lot with boats and houses at the moment. So I'm not joining any courses right now. But you'll hang on, and I'll be there eventually. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful share, Frank.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone has any feedback for Frank. Because I was like, let's go with you. I was feeling the humility was like dipping into not recognizing there is a perfection. I feel like perhaps in exploring, but what I love about your share, Frank, is your awareness level of where you find the challenges, which is where I feel like the treasure trove of the learning is for you. But thank you for that beautiful, authentic share.
Yeah.
But I just, it's hard for me. And maybe it's the feminine female thing where it was like, oh, no, don't degrade yourself at all. You can't do that. You can't do that. You're a child of God. You're perfect. But I think it was more self-awareness or awareness for you. Yeah. All right. Well, here we are. Let's see. I love how in the breakouts we get more people on camera. We get these smiles. Yeah. How was the breakout, Mary? Good breakout? Good. Okay. Oh, there's Brendan who lives in my town every time. And I haven't run into you yet. But I got to know where you do your grocery shopping. Shaw's? Okay, I'm leaning more toward because of this like gas points now they're getting me. Oh, but I can't hear you, Brendan. I was reading your lips. Oh wait, here you go. Okay, we're gonna have to reach out because I can't hear you, but oh, it's okay. The smile is felt. Well, welcome back, everyone.
I live by South County Commons.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we're very close.
Yes. Okay. It'll happen.
Yeah.
Well, good to see you because I have to
see you.
connect Brendan with our other Power of Love Ministry couple, Rich and Karen, who live right here in Wakefield too. Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome back. If you have any breakthroughs, decisions you're making, anything you want to share in the chat to illuminate that and give it power, please do. Place that in the chat. Any decisions you're making, any teaching, any clarity that you received that you're going to take out in the world, let us know. It strengthens that decision. And so we're going to do some announcements. We'll let Karen make any announcements she has in Faith. And we'll start with the ministry announcements, just thanking you for being here and letting you know you can support the services by making a donation, a one-time donation or an ongoing donation. And we'll put the link in the chat for you. Because we tithe our speakers and our musicians, there's admin behind the scenes. So if you feel so uplifted, please share. And you can also sign up for the text messages. That's another way you can make a donation and also be receiving inspirational messages from Jennifer's prayer, as well as ACIM quotes. And we're also would like, so these things are coming in the chat. I'll try not to talk too fast. We are going to highlight Karen's workshop. And so Karen, maybe you can talk about it. Maybe I'll bring you on to make that announcement now, if that works, and you can say more about it, but it's coming right up. So let's add Karen.
Wonderful.
Okay.
All right, wonderful. Yes. Okay, so Create and Lead Workshops That Matter is an intensive 5-session series that's done virtually that is designed for those of you that know that some part of your teaching has the form of creating and leading either classes or workshops or giving presentations, and you want to deepen in your capacity to package and price and promote in a way that attracts your ideal audience, that makes a transformation for them and makes money for you. So the practical aspects, as well as how do you continue to weave, uplift, include, and articulate spiritual truths within the work that you do. So you heard Faith mention that she's teaching a class on emotional freedom. So is part of this kind of experience. She can bring modules from that, small snippets of it, and work on up-leveling her design, facilitation, and marketing skills. So for anyone who is already leading workshops, or you think you might, this is a chance for an interactive, feedback-based, small group intensive experience. All the details are at the invitation page, and it's July 6th through the 15th, 5 sessions, and all of it will be recorded. And if you're traveling for most of the dates, yes, you can still sign up. We have a gal who last year was in France and she was going to be missing the live sessions, but what she did is she watched all the replays and participated very actively on the WhatsApp. So for the people that are saying, I might miss a session, it's content rich, it's content in the session. We have a WhatsApp channel. There's a lot of support that you get. So if you're a person who has enough of the discipline to watch the replays and do the exercises, I think you'll still find it valuable.
Great, thank you. Karen, any other announcements you want to make at all? Or?
Yes, I'll just say that for those of you that want to learn more about my work connecting money and spirituality, which was the Money Keys, you can go to themoneykeys.com. I do a monthly newsletter, and there's plenty of resources there. Okay.
Good. I couldn't unmute myself for a second there. Sorry. I was going to themoneykeys.com, but we'll get that in the chat as well. So thank you. Thank you, Karen. And I will say that for the ministry, the other thing I want to say too is for those who miss the live sessions, it does happen often that participants will connect with each other and form little study groups and get together and talk during that time and after. So there's lots of support that just happens naturally because Jennifer has taught us to join forces to strengthen what we're learning. So the last ministry announcement is we have another free forgiveness letter writing workshop coming up. And the forgiveness letter is one of our core tools in the ministry in all of our programming. And it just clears out the junk so we can hear the good, hear the truth. And so if that is coming up on July 9th, and we'll get that information, it's already in the chat if you'd like to sign up. So it is a live participation requirement because we walk you through how to write a forgiveness letter. You get to do one live on the spot. So if you're having issues writing them, come and do it with other people. And so those are all of our announcements. Faith, would you like to share anything?
Yes, actually, I would. I put a couple of things in the chat here. First of all, I am taking the workshop with Karen. I'm really looking forward to it, so I'm going to recommend. I've known Karen, Reverend Karen, for many, many years at Agape. I was just serving this morning at Agape on pulpit rotation, and then came back home and was here for this service. So I've had double duty today. It's been amazing. But I am doing a new course, and I am doing a new course. It's called Empower Your Feelings, and I put the link on the chat. You can go and look and see what the course is about, and if you want to sign up for it, you can do that there. Also, you can connect with me at faith@raisingyouриmpact.com. And this course is designed to really move into acknowledging and uh, acknowledging our feelings, honoring them, get them the ones that are stagnant, they're just in our energy. It's like feelings are the nervous energy, the nervous system, in your part of your nervous system in your body. So when things are being clogged up, like in different areas, chakras, energy centers in the body, we close down in our life all of the good stuff. Because what I know is that we all want to feel all the good energy, and yet that negative energy that we're not acknowledging, which is often in our body as emotions, are not allowing us to get freed up and be able to feel more love, more joy, more courage, more power, more a sense of safety in my life, a sense of intimacy. All of these things that we want to really embody. But what if I'm closing down and I'm not allowing myself to connect with other people because of different kinds of fearful emotions that I'm experiencing? So we can free and empower these up. We're doing it. It's designed for creative people on a creative path, but I have some other people right now. I have someone in the course who is she's really a speaker, a leader, and she's trying to really be more authentically connected with herself and with her audience who she's speaking to. So she wants to get those feelings, their very authentic feelings, moving in her life. So we're working through that. I'm excited about talking to anybody about this. It's brand new for me in a way. I've been doing this for the last 10 years, but it's now in an official course, and it's been life-changing for the people who have just taken. It's an 8-week course. So hopefully, if we don't connect this time, maybe next time. But please reach out to me if you have any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you, Faith. Yeah. And it's your turn now too, whenever you're ready to
Oh, okay.
lead us with our last song, and then we'll have a prayer and we will. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, this is a song that we usually play at the beginning of the service. My soul sings out to you. And I want to encourage everyone to sing along. The lyrics are, my soul sings out to you, my love. My soul sings out to you. My soul sings out to you, my love. My soul sings out to you. My soul sings out to you, my love. My soul sings out to you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Faith. Okay. Well, we're going to take this forward. We're thanking you, Faith, thanking you, Karen. Thank you, Frank, for your help behind the scenes. Thank you, GJ. Thank you all for coming and making this a thing and giving us an audience. And so if you'd like to place your hand on your heart, I'm going to place my hands on my heart and just take a breath of gratitude. So grateful for feeling uplifted, grateful for the healing that we are given when we remember the truth, when we speak the truth, when we share spiritual principle, when we share spiritual teachings, when we reference the Course. We're so grateful for how much God loves us through all that's available to us. And we're grateful that we are choosing it. We're grateful to all of you who chose to be here today. We're grateful to take the message and the vibration of love forward to our families, to ourselves, to our communities, to truly be open to where Spirit's leading us, to be constantly doing the work to release all the blocks, all the judgments, opinions that we have about ourselves or others that block the ability for us to be in the flow of the divine teaching, the divine curriculum. So we go forward grateful for the openness of our hearts, grateful for this spiritual shower, this love festival. And we take this to all with our hearts open, letting it be. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Angela.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Faith.
Thank you all.
Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.